Hey guys, welcome back. Jerry once again here at Hilltop Firearms Training Center, Dover, Tennessee. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, so what's going on, right? I'm in front of the camera 2 times in the same month. Monday, today is Tuesday, so, no, I'm sorry, today's Wednesday. Monday we taught our law enforcement. Our local sheriff's department came out, sheriff included, and we did some training, and it was a really good day. We had a lot of rain, of course, and we got soaked, but we pressed on and did what we needed to do. And I started thinking about a few things, and I thought, you know, I'm going to go ahead and just make about a video about it. So the main reason the guys came out was after speaking with the sheriff, started last year. I said, you know, the yearly qualification is one thing. I said, you know, you course of fire, say it's 50 rounds, you go, you shoot different distances. I said, you can basically assess where everybody is. I said, but we need to get them out there and push them a little bit, do some advanced training. And that's what we did. We did everything from stress drills, time drills, malfunction clearing, moving, shooting, dealing with multiple threats, transition drills going from your pistol, your rifle, shotgun. We did a little bit of everything, but the class was designed to help those that needed to perhaps refine their shooting skills. Early off, we did it's a 20-round stress drill, basically, where we have, it's really not stressful, but we start at 15 yards, and you have like 5 rounds at 15 yards and an 8-inch circle on a silhouette. You have 7 seconds. Well, when they hear that buzzer go off, it kind of messes with their mind, and that's why we do it. We want to see, can they perform under stress? Long story short, we really were able to get some of the guys up to par where they needed to be. There was a few things that I think when they left, they realized they need to practice more, they need to shoot more. Training is different than practicing, and you know, techniques and tactics are also something that we tried to put in front of them, presented, hey, here's a few options, pick which works best for you. But during the course of that day, a lot of the guys were, you could tell that they were finally coming around, and they realized that it wasn't a class to make anybody feel bad or a class to intimidate anybody. What I mean is, over the years, I've attended many classes. When I was in law enforcement, just as a private citizen, you go to a class and you pull up and everybody's standing around waiting for the instructor, and everybody's sort of sizing everybody up, and they're looking at their gear and their guns, and it's just such a, I guess it's a normal thing with most males when you put a firearm in the mix. But here at Hilltop, I do not have time for that. I'm here to assist. I want to make people feel better when they leave. If they're not shooting where they should be, we point out some things we might need to fix. Hey, your grip, why don't you do this? Why don't you move, say, your thumb? Why don't you back your finger off the trigger a little bit? Maybe it's your sights. Do we need to adjust them? That's what we here are here to do, to help people to better themselves, not intimidate them. And I got to thinking about this, and probably when I say it, some of you watching, it's going to ruffle some feathers. My channel is so small, and I am a nobody in a sea full of big-name rock star instructors. I said it the other day, but I'm here for the people that come here. I'm not here for the glory and the glamorous side of shooting, because I'm going to tell you something. Shooting for me is just a job. I'm not a gun guy. I don't collect firearms. I don't have a lot of guns. I have a few guns that I shoot quite regularly. So one of the things that has really hit me like just hard across the face the last, say, 15 years is how schools that are teaching, they're all teaching about the same thing, but yet some of them make it sound so much more in vogue, tactical, cutting edge. So I'm going to make fun of a few things that I see, and something you'll never see here. So people that make something sound more complicated than it needs to be, I think sometimes are compensating or trying to make themselves sound so much more important. So here we go. All right, guys, we want to bring the pistol up to our workspace. We want to grab our source of feed. We want to go ahead and run that source of feed up the mag well, make sure it's seated. Go ahead and cycle your slide. Then I want to check the chamber. Then I want to holster. All right. Then I want to bring up my primary. my primary. I want to bring it up in my workspace. You get the point? Okay. Primary, secondary, workspace. So I like to bring up the weapon systems platform. Weapons systems platform. Primary, secondary, source of feed, workspace. What is that? Oh, I'm simple. Oh, okay, guys, you didn't get that? You didn't get that? Okay, what he means is you want to bring up your secondary. This is your pistol, okay? Now, why would we call this a secondary? Well, this doesn't have the ability to do the damage on a threat that this does. Make sense? So, primary is your rifle, secondary is your pistol. Workspace. What? Okay, I'm sorry, workspace. It sounds cool, but it's just, guys, don't reload your pistol at the belt. What I mean is, don't be down here, you're looking in your mag pouch, and then you bring your eyes up and you've lost where the threat might be. Keep the pistol roughly in your line of sight. Even in my peripheral vision, I can kind of see what's going on. Workspace. No, keep it roughly about here. Okay? Source of feed. Oh, once again, I'm such an idiot. I didn't realize that's called a magazine. Guys, when you index your magazine, make sure you make contact with the magwell, run it up there. See what I mean? Why are we making things sound so complicated and cool when it's a rifle, it's a shotgun, it's a pistol? It's not a weapon system. It's a rifle maybe with an optic and hopefully a light. It's all you need. Maybe I'm just getting a little too old. I'm pushing 50 years old. I've watched the trends come and go. I remember when shoulder holsters were the in thing. If you wore a shoulder holster, you had the dual magazine pouch, and then cops could also attach a little snap and it held their handcuffs. You knew you were a cool dude then, right? And I remember when all of a sudden, early 2000, everybody's showing up to classes wearing camelbacks. Camelback's a great thing, but you don't see them as much now because they're not as cool. What's cool now? Workspace. Primary. Why don't you bring the rifle up, keep it basically here. When you reach for your magazine, magazine goes up the mag well, push, and then pull to make sure it's seated so when you go to fire the gun, magazine doesn't fall out of the rifle. Just little things like that. We are here to be simple. Whether you realize it or not, the biggest rock star instructors out there that are running around and burning up targets, they're all teaching roughly the same thing. There's a few really innovative people out there teaching some cutting edge stuff. But generally speaking, shooting a gun consists of looking at the little thing on the end of your pistol, finding what you want to shoot at, and press the trigger smoothly. Look at your sights before, during, and after you press the trigger. That's called follow through, right? You have two sight pictures. Sight picture, sight alignment. All right? I don't know where things have gone so the other way the last 15 years, where if you don't have a certain brand of shoes and a certain optic on your gun and trends, guys, making yourself sound so cool, it does nothing for me. I guess I'm just too old. I'm kind of an elephant in the room, a fossil, whatever you want to call it. I don't care about what sounds cool and what makes you seem like you're such a bad dude. Half these guys using terms like workspace and source of feed sit behind the desk of a computer. They have no resume. The guys that I was honored enough to spend the day with on the range, getting soaked, shooting, working through drills, those men behind the badge, the men and women behind the badge, are doing a job most people cannot do. You see some of the worst things, you deal with the worst people, you work car wrecks and homicides and suicides. Those guys is what I was here for, to help them. No intimidation was needed, no fancy terms. I'm going to tell you something. Things go awry when your adrenaline is going through the roof and you are, in fact, scared for your life. all that fancy stuff fades. The things that you can most rely on are solid baseline fundamentals, and those things are what you will revert back to when you need it the most. Guys, I hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers. If I did, well, you probably don't like my channel anyway. Not sure why you're watching this. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on the range.